Good morning, this is Jim, Sawlogs Plastic Cups. Welcome to my shop. This is part one, I'm going to say, of a video project. This may be the longest part. What I'm doing is Mark Winquist made a tool for his Logan. And what he done was make it where it set on the compound, and he had to bolt it, take his quick change block off, bolt it. And a couple of us commented about this, making it where it would fit onto the tool block but rest on the compound for support. And so I decided to order a blade like he used from Amazon and try to make the project. So before we go into anything about getting comfortable, here is the project at this point where I've machined it and worked on it. I'm going to tell you, it didn't work as I anticipated. I have a lot of trouble with these blades not basically stalling out. I'm going to show you some footage at the end of this video of my troubles with this crap. With that being said, I want you to sit back, enjoy, laugh your ass off, and let's just see what happens. And I'll come back at the end of your video and I'll explain what we're going to do. Good morning. We're going to embark on another project. And the genesis of this is really something I'm not needing, but it came up in a discussion between email and comments on a fellow YouTuber's video. I don't know how many of you watch Winky's workshop. He does machining and woodworking, Mark Winquist. And Mark, like a lot of people with the small lathe, struggles with the cutoff. And he built a system to where you use a block to set the block dead on his compound of his Logan lathe. And one of the things that was brought up in the comments and a lot of email discussions was rigidity, reasons for having to do that, and all. So one suggestion was made by myself and Randy Richards, actually, was why not go ahead and make this thing where it rests instead of locking and adjusting the centers, to go ahead and build a block to where it just slips instead of having to take your whole quick change post off. Just let it rest on the compound to gain some rigidity. So what I'm going to do today is I've got this block of steel, and I've been doing some figuring how to make this as thin as possible to fit everything in, and we're going to machine up basically one of these blocks. And we're going to give it a try and see if the theory works. Now, with this, there won't be any adjustment because we're going to lay this thing out. And when I put this here in, it's going to be on center based on the lathe. So the first step is I've got to cut this piece of stock down to a rough dimension where I can work on it. So that's what we're going to begin with this morning. You're going to kind of peek over my shoulder, let this dicom dry. One thing in the home shop, we do things sometimes, and I would say this, there's things I'm doing in my shop that wouldn't be done in a professional shop. Part of the reason is that they would try to get stock closer. Most of us in the home shop get our stock from so many different places we can't control it. So what I'm decided to realize is my block needs to be, this thickness is good, but I need to be about 1.25 inches. So I'm going to go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to make this a little bit bigger. The old saying is, in carpentry, you cut twice, and you can always cut it off. But what we're going to do here is just take us up. These are rough measurements because we're just laying it out to set it up to saw it. And what we're going to do is make us some scribe lines to set the saw up here. And the other thing is this here piece of material is got a big whop in the end of it, So we're going to cut it just a smidgen off the end here, make squaring up easier. So what we're trying to do is make the life on the mill a little easier, and we're going to set this up, and we're going to use our saw fixtures today to saw this up. So those marks don't have to be exact, by the way. Now let me get them in my saw. And then this is my newest saw fixture. It's designed for flat stock. And what you see here is this clamp. And what this allows me to do is do stuff like I'm doing here. And I'll probably just go ahead and get started. Give me a little bit of work back. And that's how we'll saw this right off here. And again, it saves a lot of work. I'll bring you back with this saws off. Okay, there you go. There's my sawed off block roughed down. So it should be a little bit over 1.25 inches. It should be. The idea was to make sure I'm over so I can clean it up. Okay, that's hopefully I'll clean up around 1.25 inches, a little less. I've got some room built into that, so we'll just see. We're going to saw this end off using the same fixture, and you can see how that end is just like it was hot cut off at the factory, at the mill. So it's really got a bad sway in it, and it'd be really difficult to machine. I mean, it could be done with a mill, but we're trying to eliminate a lot of extra milling, so we're sawing it up too. Again, there's another look at the fixture for you guys. All right, here's my block, all squared up, all sawed up. It ain't square, but it's sawed up and we're ready to get to the mill. It's going to save us a lot of time. I'm going to do this in back here and run about 300 something. I'm a little more conservative with my speed than some people are. So, I just touched it too. I don't know what I'm going to get. So this is going to be the first pass across, so we'll see. Just to clear it up. That looks good. I'll make a couple more, so there we go. Okay, this is the very last pass from the long end squaring up. Hopefully this will clean up for me. So we will see. block is square, I want to make dang sure that we're going to put the dovetail in. So to do what I want to do is take the fly cutter and take a very light cut in this plane to put everything in the same place. Alright, what that does is that's going to put the whole dovetail, everything I'm going to do from now on, in one plane. I'll have to deburr and find the edges. Okay, by the way, I thought I would show again this electronic edge finder that W Tool Right gave me. And this thing is neat. And the truth of it is, there's certain places it works better than others. But for this, it's going to be great. Alright. So basically what I'm doing is setting up to cut a dovetail right now. And I got to get the rest of my tooling together to do my dovetail. I want to show me. Off the camera, I just didn't feel like videotaping any more blooming dovetail cutting. I've cut enough of these, and you've seen these on my channel. Right now I'm sitting here deburring this, and we're going to get ready for the next step. What I'm going to do here is just like Mr. Mark did. We're just going to touch this, and then we're just going to run the feed down and create us a scribe mark. On how this is going to look, we'll see here in just a second. I'm not getting the mark I wanted. There. I just need a line to work with, and basically this is going to be the top of the cutoff blade. So that's just a center drill in there about low. All right, I've got enough of a mark. There you go. Now, so there's me a scribe line to work with. So see how that looks. Okay. Okay, now we're going to make the next cut. I just made the first pass, got it in there, and now I'm just going to go ahead and get it down to depth. Don't need to be much, about 100 thousandths. These blades are not that wide. And we'll get this knocked out. So this straightforward milling here is nothing big, nothing fancy. Straightforward, take a little mill cut right down the middle of it. I'll let you see one. Now all I got to do is offset it over back to 0. I set this, I actually went back and decided to line it up by the scribe mark and make that 0 at the end of the cutter. This is just basically a 1/2 inch milling cutter. We're going to mill back the other way. I'll let you just, I'll just put you to sleep, as Harold says. So, let's just see. Okay, now we're putting slot in. I got everything in. That's 15 minutes that way. I'm seeing that I've got a little bit of a slot. I'm going to need a little more. I'm going to go a little more of that slot. I'm going to go in another 50 thou. Just to be safe. I believe that it won't hurt it. It'll give us enough. Another 50 thou, give us a little more up to close. That's 175. That ought to do pretty good right there. Okay, I'm going to drill these things down plenty deep enough. There's going to be some breakout because it's got to go through where the slip mark is. Since I done the slip first, but shouldn't be so bad. And we're drilling these holes. I'm going to actually drill this thing. I may just drill them all the way out because it don't really matter. Just so I'll have chip clearance out the bottom to tap them. At the worst, I'm going to drill them 1.5 inches, and I think that's going to take me all the way out just about. And that's 1.25 inches screw length. So I need a little extra room for the taps to bottom out. So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. Just because I can, and it'll be a lot easier. That's 1.5 inches right there. That gives me about 1/4 inch. Let's see if I can go all the way out, which would be good. There, we're just going to drill them all the way through. That would just be simpler. Alright. I'm going to change this thing out and put the relief drill in next. Take the relief drill, and I'm just going to drill it till I reach that little bit past that breakout. I'll find the breakout. You'll feel it when you're drilling. Right there will be good. Because that's just enough to let the thing sort of screw in there. And then what we'll do is we'll power tap it, and then we'll have to go back and probably re-tap it by hand. Because just the fact of the thing being the way it is. I want to remind you on this too, by the way, that we're not needing to worry about this is set up where we're not putting a screw in it. This is going to set on the compound. The difference is, this is kind of the idea's inspiration from Mark, and the reason for that is the compound is going to be what supports it. So we're going to see how this all works when it gets done. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use my little tap handle because it's just easier to work with here. And then I'm going to tap these, just chase these down as far as I can. So I'm going to move the camera where I can get to it. One of the things I'm beginning to find out is I'm having trouble getting the blade to crank. So basically this has been a trial and error method. And I've already went in there, what I'm doing is taking the put the blade back in and reset it up, and it's widening out that slot, trying to get the material where it will give when I tighten it up. So I'm just about there. So we're going in there taking about another 60 thousandths out and a couple of passes with the slitting saw to try to get this thing thinned down enough to get it to squeeze. I guess it's and one of the problems I have, and I'll take this out and I'll show you when we get to it here, what I'm running into. And I'll give, once this comes out, I'll cut it off, I'll bring you back and show you. Okay, now what you see is the setup. And let me maybe crank it back where you can get a good look at it. And what it is, it sets here in the compounds where the load's going, right here in this piece of the compound. So that's where it's going to set. To drive forces. The block is being made very thin to see if this will work. Now the reason that one screw's not in it, I countersunk these by eye, and I got that one a little deep. So I'm going to need a longer Allen screw for it. I'll use 1/4 thread because I've got a lot of the screws in stock. I bought a box of them years ago when I was go-kart racing to make plastic hubs with. And that's the same size studs on most carts as 1/4. So, with all that being said, we're going to go grab us a piece of steel and we're going to see what happens when we face this sucker off. I'm down in there now, and this 320, and just about ready to take it apart. And I believe I'm going to have to do some belt tightening if I'm going to use this to work. And I'm not so certain I'm going to be using this or not. I will say this much, it works, it's doing the job. See what it does, it gets right down in there like it jams a piece of material. And if you pull this out and look, the blade doesn't. So I think that's what it's doing. See, it goes right in there and moves that material. Like a piece of chip gets in there and loads the whole process in. Folks, I hope you've seen that this tool isn't worked right. I've tried several different things to improve the performance and I cannot get it to work. I have had zero luck with these blades. And I really thought this was a little bigger blade. So what we're going to do is we're going to remake this holder and we're going to try the same concept with this insert blade that I know is stiffer. I believe 2/3 of the problem is this blade's walking around. So I've reground it, I put clearance on, I've done everything I know to do, and I sat there as watching it today and watching the blade do this. So I think that's part of the problem. So I'm going to remake this and we're going to try this again. Thanks for stopping by and watching the video with me. I'm sorry that this project didn't work out as I anticipated, but you know what? Sometimes we just got to show things that don't work. And with this particular type of blade, I've never had any luck. So what I want to do is I don't want to throw the blade away. I've sharpened it. A perfectly good high-speed steel cobalt 3/32 by 11/16 blade that I've just ground on a little bit. And if any of my viewers wants this, comment to me and we'll get back together, comment or send, or go to my email address and email me. The very first person that says it, I'll send them this blade free of charge anywhere in the United States and Canada, because I'm not going to need it. I've got another plan. Alright, with all that being said, this is a copyrighted production of James Deadman Sawlogs Plastic Hubs for your enjoyment and entertainment on YouTube. Again, I apologize that this project didn't work out as it planned to, but however, sometimes we just got to show you failures. I do have a plan to make this holder into something different, and it'll be in the next video behind this one. So with all that being said, have a great day, and we'll see you in that next video.